Shut up and sit down.
It's the Culture of Pop. We are glad to join you again. We hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful, hope you're going to have a wonderful New Year.
Yeah, in 3 fucking days, it is the 20s again.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's just crazy.
It's ridiculous. We had a, 55 Christmas? It was 55 on Christmas?
Yeah, it's like 50-something degrees today, too.
Yeah.
I was hopeful for a white Christmas because it actually snowed like the week before.
Yeah, it did, yep.
And I was like,
and then it just kind of melted.
Yep, that's the way it's been happening. It's crazy. Nobody seems to notice or give a shit. Nobody seems to care.
No.
They like to poo-poo all over global warming or whatever you want to call it, climate change, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I don't believe the reasons we're being given for it. But all you have to do is look out your fucking window to notice that it's true.
Oh yeah, it's just shit's
Something's
changing.
not right.
Shit's changing.
Something's
it's weird.
Not right.
But I don't mind it in the summer. It seems like it's warmer in the summer, so.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. It gets really fucking hot outside, and I paint houses now, so that sucks.
I paint houses. Oh, that brings up something. You know what that means, don't you?
What's that?
I learned in The Irishman. I watched The Irishman finally with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino on Netflix. It's really good.
I'm curious, but Scorsese rubbed me the wrong way with
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's really good, but it's funny because you say I paint houses because that's what they asked the guys who are hitmen. Do you paint houses?
Nice.
What that means is you see later is like when they shoot people and shit, it splatters blood everywhere and on the walls and yeah. So
no, I don't paint houses that way.
Like the first thing that
unless the money's right, you gotta seriously.
The first thing that Jimmy Hoffa asks Robert De Niro's character is, "Do you paint houses?" And that's actually the title of the book that it came from. So that's funny. You should say that.
Nice.
But we're not talking about that right now. We of course are going to talk about Star Wars first because I got a lot. And I know you do too, because we can be spoiler now. By the way, spoilers are ahead.
Spoilers ahead.
If you haven't seen it yet, then that's your problem.
If you haven't seen it yet, what the fuck's wrong?
I mean, even I've seen it, and I don't go to the movie theaters, so.
I've only seen it once, though. I do intend to see it twice, and we've already got the gift card for it. So
yeah, I will. I don't know if I'm definitely going to be watching it. I mean, I already have it pre-ordered, so I don't know if I'll go to the theater and see it again. But I was delighted.
It was amazing. I loved that movie.
There was a couple of things that I still, even though I had paid attention to a lot of the spoilers and stuff, like I did not know Harrison Ford was coming back. No clue. So
me neither. I'm glad that didn't cross my path.
When that happened, I was like, wow. And I mean, I really was surprised and got goosebumps there for a minute. And I don't think I've gotten goosebumps in a Star Wars film in a long time.
Right, I thought Harrison Ford was done with that shit. I thought that was, I honestly thought that it was his idea.
Yeah.
To die in The Force Awakens.
Exactly.
It was his idea to die in The Empire Strikes Back. They just wouldn't fucking let him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I was really surprised by that. There's so much good in it. I mean, and you did say there wasn't Ewok in it, but it was a throwback, so that was cool.
Right. Like I said, 99.9% less Ewoks.
It was, the thing is that when I watched it, it's like, it is fan service, and I hate it when people who are fans bitch that it's fan service. That's what you want to see. Shut up. You know it is.
It's like a toddler crying for a fucking piece of pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving dinner and then turning it down when the parent tries to feed
exactly.
it,
Yeah.
you know?
It's like, this is what you guys, there was fan service in it. This is what you want. He pretty much fixed everything from the last piece of shit. And even if he didn't, he brought it around to a point where it made sense at least.
You couldn't see it on camera, but bile dripped out of his mouth when he said that.
Yeah, you'll see in my list. Anyhow, but I mean, I was like, I'll say there was like two things that bothered me, and only two things. The healing power bothered me.
Well,
I know we've seen it done now in The Mandalorian.
Exactly. I was going to say that's why they released that episode of The Mandalorian a couple of days early to showcase that force power.
But to me, he's a Yoda species, so I just kind of consider them to like have been born and they already have all that shit. Maybe. And they're like super powered or whatever you want to say about it.
So was she. I mean, look at the pedigree. Look at what she came from. We're getting into spoiler territory here. We might as well just draw attention to the elephant in the room.
Yeah, she's Palpatine's granddaughter.
Her lineage. Yes.
Yeah, and I get that too, but I mean, when you put that healing power in there, it takes back so much stuff. Like, why couldn't Luke have healed Darth Vader then at the end of Jedi?
Well, you know
why
what?
couldn't
You know what? I've been playing guitar now for like 4 years, and there's still some chords I can't.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
There are still some chords that I have not quite learned how to hit yet.
Yeah.
That's all I think it is.
You think it's just that they just learn it over time?
I think that you have to have the specific lesson in order to learn the specific thing, unless you're as overpowered as someone like Rey or somebody from Yoda's species.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was one thing that bothered me, but I mean, I'm willing to get over that, like you just said. I mean, Yoda or Baby Child or whatever is doing it, Baby Yoda's already doing it.
And I think that actually explains the Emperor's return.
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah,
I don't think he was a clone. I was originally thinking to myself that if they brought him back, it'd be like in the Dark Empire series of graphic novels that came out after the Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
After Return of the Jedi, where he was actually cloned and transferred his essence into the clone. Okay. I don't think that was the case here. I think that over the course of the last 30 years, he's just been hanging out.
Yeah, living with that thing or whatever. Yeah,
just using that ability that very obviously passed down to Rey.
Yeah.
Using that ability to heal his body slowly, and that's why when he pulled the energy from the two of them, when he pulled that force from the two of them, his fingers regrew.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly what that was implying.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool the way they did the Emperor, the way that
he was creepy as fuck.
If nobody's seen it yet and you're paying attention to the bullshit online, it's nothing like what they're saying. No. It's way different. I mean, they keep making fun of he's in this big, Ghost in the Shell type thing or whatever. Well, and I thought it was really cool how they made him, still be alive and the thing that he was, on. And I just thought it was really neat the way they did it. So I didn't have any problems with that.
I do agree.
The only other problem I had was, and I know this is going to be a point of contention, was Luke grabbing the lightsaber. I was bothered by that.
Really?
Number one, I thought Luke looked like just a prick when the entire time he was on the screen. He did. I mean, he had Jedi Master. I get it. But he just was very dickish. It seemed like when he came back.
Well,
and plus, I mean, like I said, once again, why do we all of a sudden have Force Ghosts being able to interact with the reality going around them?
Well, it fits in with the whole Yoda thing. But yeah, I mean, I can kind of see where you're coming from there, because if the Force Ghost can do that, then why can't the Force Ghost just come back and take care of all
exactly?
This shit,
like, why isn't Obi-Wan coming back from the dead and doing some shit?
There was a moment that I absolutely loved, and it was in I think it was in Timothy Zahn's first novel. No, I'm sorry. No, it was not. It was in the beginning of Kevin J. Anderson's first novel in the Jedi Academy trilogy, Jedi Search.
Okay.
Where Luke is hanging out on his balcony, drinking a hot chocolate, and the ghost of Obi-Wan comes to him in a dream. Actually, it turns out this was all a dream.
Okay.
Comes to him and tells him it's his job to build the Jedi Order back up, and I got to take off now because I've stayed here too long. I got to go rejoin the Force.
Yeah.
And then he disappears forever.
Yeah.
It was Ben's final message to Luke.
Yeah, and
I love that moment because it put limitations on the Force Ghosts.
I think what it was is that I knew it was coming because I had heard in the leaks, and I knew it was coming, and it just didn't come across to me as I thought it was going to come across. It came across just a little. I don't know. That part was like way too fan servicey for me. I was like,
The way I look at it, it's a fantastical ability that we do not have in the real world anyway. So
yes,
they can do whatever the fuck they want with it as long as it serves the story.
Yeah. But I did love Ben Solo, of course, or Kylo Ren.
Dude, Kylo
amazing
Ren
arc,
He was the most interesting character in the entire trilogy.
Yeah, he was. And the funny thing was, going into this, The Force Awakens, and I think I had discussed it before, is that I never liked him. I never liked Adam Driver. I had seen him in a couple movies, and I had watched him on the show Girls, where he just plays a pissant.
I didn't see any.
And I'd already had my mind made up, but then when I went into the theater, I was blown away. I was like, oh wait, this isn't the guy that I thought it was. So his entire arc from number seven to nine is really, it's probably the most amazing thing in the entire series. Yeah,
I agree. I completely agree. I thought, and I actually kind of predicted. That was one of the things that I predicted, that he was going to be on a redemption path through that whole thing. They alluded to that in The Force Awakens when he was talking to the Vader head, and he was like, "I feel it. I feel the pull of the light."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm glad that they followed through on that.
I am too. It was really. He was really good. Rey was really good. Daisy Ridley was really good.
She had personality for the first time.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
There was one moment in The Last Jedi. There was one fucking moment that just. I'm like, could you be any more of a plank of fucking wood? And I even love that movie.
Yeah.
But it's when she walks up and it sounds like she sounded like when she delivered the line, when she walks up, we need you to come back to the thing because we got to fight First Order and they're going to take over and Snoke and fucking Kylo. And Luke stops her right there. I'm just thinking, she sounds like the fucking kid that can't read very well.
Yeah,
being forced
yeah.
to read the next paragraph out loud in 4th grade when you got the novel in front of you. And
Yep.
That's
Yep. Oh,
exactly
I get it.
What she sounded like.
She wasn't very. She followed along the same lines, and I was even thinking, I did end up watching Attack of the Clones, only because it's the one that everybody yells about. So I had to see it just to remember it, and I saw the first hour of it, and then I got kind of bored with it. But there are parts in it that I do remember that I did appreciate. But what brings me to that is that the acting is so wooden. Out of all of the movies, that's the worst. The acting is just horrible, and I just think that George just does not know how to direct an actor.
Well, he's even said himself that the most he can manage as far as a director is saying, okay, do it again, but faster and more intense.
Yeah.
That's exact quote right there.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, so I was watching that one. So we'll get to my list now.
He's also admitted that he hates writing too, and it shows.
That doesn't surprise me at all. He definitely doesn't write for the characters as much as he should.
Right.
So here's my list of everything. I'm including, Solo and Rogue and all that stuff too, like you said. My first one, and the way I go about this is I go about this with what is the first movie that I'm willing to put in and watch all the way through, even though I've seen it a dozen or so times. So that's kind of the way these are, because when I got Disney Plus, the first thing I put on was Empire Strikes Back. So that's top of my list, number 5.
That's the one that's the least fucked with when it comes to the special editions.
Yes,
so that's the one that I might actually watch on Disney Plus.
I did. So 5 is my number 1 in my number 1 spot, and then 6 because it's a natural progression. Plus, I loved it. I can remember how amazing it was to go see this, which is what it should have been with this last one, and it kind of was, but I don't think it was for a lot of other fans. It should have been like Return of the Jedi was that conclusion that you really needed.
Yep.
And I think for a lot of fans, this conclusion wasn't what they wanted, I guess, so whatever.
Well, what is?
Yeah.
The fucking Star Wars fans never, ever are happy. They're never happy anymore.
I don't understand why.
To them. That's why I'm ashamed to be considered one.
I don't get it. All right, so 5, 6, and then of course 4. I got to go with the original trilogy first, but that's the one I've seen probably the most, so I know it by heart, and I don't watch it as much, but I do love it. And then we go to, I'm going to put 9 underneath that.
Really?
I really like 9. I really did.
I put Solo right before 9. And,
did you?
And I'm glad that you loved it.
Yeah, I did. I really liked it. And then I'm going to go for 7.
Okay.
Because I thought 7 blew me away in the theaters the first time I saw it.
I was impressed.
It was new. I
remember the day after I saw that, I was going to see it again with some friends that weren't with me that first night.
Yeah.
And I was meeting them at the theater, and I deliberately had my hoodie on, and I just had the hood over my head, and I waited till they were behind me, and I turned around and took the hood off. They didn't get it until like 2 hours later.
Of course not. So 7, and then Solo. Oh, so 9 and then 7. And then Solo comes after that. I put Solo because I really do like Solo.
So underrated.
Yeah.
It did not get a fair shake.
No, it didn't. It was all the hoopla and all the bullshit.
It was petty. It was petty fans is the reason that didn't take off, and that's the reason we're not going to get a bunch of side movies.
Yeah,
exactly.
Then number 1, I still dig the Phantom Menace. I mean, only because the saving grace of it is Darth Maul to me. But I do like it. I like the pod race. I like the stuff like that. I don't necessarily like him a lot, the little kid, but
it was.
I mean, he was thrown into that. I mean, there's, I don't know. I mean, it ruined his career and his life and everything else. It really did.
His mugshots. Is it weird though that the screenplay for that movie was better than the movie?
I don't know because I didn't read the screenplay. So I don't know. Was it a lot different?
I can let you read the screenplay. It's the same exact fucking thing that wound up on screen. It is. It's the same dialogue, the same direction that you saw. It's just that your imagination
feels differently. Yeah.
Your imagination puts it together better than George Lucas did behind the director's chair, or in the director's chair behind the cameras.
Yeah, because as I was watching Attack of the Clones, I was like, "Wow!" In this scene right here, the only human counterpart is Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Everybody else around him is made up CGI, which I still don't understand why he did CGI in the prequels. He was the master of
Not one
practical
set of
effects.
clone armor was made. Not one cent.
He's the master of practical effects. He did it from Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. And why would you not do the same?
He was the master of hiring people for special effects. The problem is Industrial Light and Magic, they've moved away from the practical effects at that point, and they're going back to it. But at that point, they were trying to develop more CGI stuff, so that because it was I forget what it was who said it, but they were saying now when they watch this movie talking about the Phantom Menace, and it was in that documentary that was on the DVD called The Beginning.
Okay.
Which I recommend, one of the best documentaries about filmmaking that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But what I think it was Rick McCallum was saying now when they watch this movie, they're gonna want to use this in their movie.
Yeah.
You know. It was a demo reel. It was like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. They were just seeing what they could do with the CGI.
Yeah. My thing is that the 3 prequels are the only movies that don't look like Star Wars movies.
Well, because CGI doesn't get dirty as it goes along.
Exactly. And it should. Everything should have been dirtier, and everything should have been... I mean, he was so proud of that when he did that.
Yeah, I know.
You know, the Millennium Falcon was a fucking heap. I mean, it's always been.
I know. They spent several $1 million building Jabba's sail barge.
Yeah.
And you don't even see the whole fucking thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It's on screen for what? Literally like 10 fucking minutes.
Oh, God. Anyway, so 1, and then my next one would be 3, of course. I always dug Revenge of the Sith. I just don't like all the lava shit at the end.
I have to mute it when he does that no at the end.
Oh, God.
For me and for my wife.
It is kind of hokey.
For my wife, I have to mute the part when she says, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow. It's like,
oh, God.
Just choke the bitch.
And then after 3, I put Rogue, because I really did like Rogue when I first saw it.
Nah. I tried watching it recently, and I fell asleep halfway through.
I liked it. I really did. I liked the whole...
officially the 3rd movie that's put me to sleep in my entire life.
Now, wait, you had Rogue somewhere on your... Where'd you have Rogue on your list? Did you have it at the bottom? Or?
I had Rogue One at the very bottom of my list because I barely consider it a Star Wars movie.
Okay. All right. Well, I had Rogue, and then I had 2... because Attack of the Clones is, I mean, it's watchable, but it's, you know, and then after that I had the Xmas special, the Christmas special, and then number 8.
I don't know. I'd put
The Last Jedi.
You put the fucking Christmas special before.
Yes, I fucking did. I will never like that movie. I hate that movie. I can't stand it.
I agree with Chris Stuckman. Cut out the Canto Bite shit, cut out the casino shit, and it's a much better movie.
I still don't like it because of what they did to Luke. I don't. I think Luke's arc should have been way better than what. Well, at least for that film.
That's why you should at least forgive the lightsaber catching by the Force Ghost, because you know what that was? That was J.J. Abrams saying, "All right. Yeah. We know you didn't want to watch him throw the lightsaber away. There he is. Yeah. He's got it now."
I just didn't. I don't know. I just can't. Everything's wrong with it for me. Everything. I can't. I just thought there should have been a better arc. I mean, for as much as they proclaimed the original cast being back, and especially Mark Hamill being back, his screen time was horrendous. It was ridiculous. I thought that's just me. But see, here's the thing:
was they just didn't have a roadmap.
My question is, why didn't JJ just direct all 3 of them? Why did they give it to Rian Johnson?
They were originally going to get somebody else for episode 9. It wasn't going to be JJ.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they brought him back in
to do each one of those. Yeah, because that's the way it happened in the original trilogy. Yeah. George Lucas did the first one.
Yep.
And then it was who was it?
Kasdan?
No, it was Lawrence Kasdan wrote.
Yeah, he wrote it.
Empire Strikes Back. It was.
I can't remember who directed it.
God damn it!
If you tell me the name, I'd know it right away.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of it.
And Richard Marquand was Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I can even picture his fucking old face too. You know?
I don't remember. I have no clue, but if I heard the name, I know it.
It's gonna bug me too because we've got Star Wars Trivial Pursuit at home, and after a while, it just becomes a game of let's ask Fred questions. I never get any of them wrong.
That's the way it is.
There's something about having a camera on you that makes your brain just delete shit.
Yes, it does.
It just childhood
automatically kind of gets out of there when you're put on the spot with a camera or whatever. Right. So as far as all of them as a whole, 9 movies.
Right.
That they're good, and it's a huge arc, and it's great, and it's an amazing franchise. it's just like I said, I just had the problem with The Last Jedi, and I mean just that the fact that the other Star Wars don't. I wish they just would have looked more like Star Wars,
right?
The prequels,
so
they'd fit in there. Because even the new ones look like Star Wars. They really do.
They tried, aesthetically speaking, they tried to take the prequel trilogy and move it from that really clean Phantom Menace look, to the dirty look from A New Hope. Mm-hmm. But it just didn't transition the way that it should have. It just all looked way too polished, way too clean.
Yep.
Way too pristine. It needs to look lived in. These characters need to seem like they actually live in this fucking universe, and not like they're just visiting a museum for Star Wars.
Which is exactly what it looks like.
Yes,
everything's perfect. Everything's not a mark, not a touch, not anything. And I'm just like, man, this is weird. It just doesn't fit.
Pet hair.
Right.
You know.
And all the CGI characters in it just got to the point where it was like, I didn't like the fact, why would you do CGI Yoda? Why? I still don't get that. Except for the fight scene in Attack of the Clones. Is that the fight?
That's why they did it.
I mean,
the Yoda in the Phantom Menace looked creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
There's no way that he looked so much younger.
Yeah.
And it was only, like 30 years?
Yeah. And all the extra characters, all the alien characters are all CGI too. I mean, there was
too much
real practical stuff in it. And
there was too much, and it affects the acting when that happens.
Oh, of course.
Because Ewan McGregor is standing there talking to a tennis ball.
He's
sitting in a fucking 50s diner, but actually he's probably just sitting on a goddamn bar stool.
Yeah, he probably is.
In front of a fucking green screen, talking to a tennis ball instead of that guy that sends him to Camino. You know?
Yep. And you can definitely tell when that's all around them, and that it's kind of hard for them to kind of get their bearings and act the way they need to.
Yeah, when you've got a big rubber monster in front of you, you react to the fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know where to look for the eyes. It doesn't miss a line. You know?
Everything looks a lot better when it's practical, and so that was my only disappointment with. But like I said, they brought it back with the new one. I thought the new one was really more Star Wars looking than the prequels were.
Oh, it really was.
So but
I was very, very pleased. I want to go see it again very soon. The only problem I had with the Rise of Skywalker was the fact that after I left the theater, I felt like, metaphorically speaking, I felt like I had eaten 4 full plates and half a pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving dinner.
There was a lot. There was a lot in it. I do want to see it again because of the fact that I know there was a ton I missed.
I was silent most of the way home because I just felt like my brain was digesting all of it.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about it the whole way too, yeah. And then as I thought more, I was like, wow.
It did have that one thing that's been present for every Star Wars movie I've seen in the theater, though.
What's that?
On the way home, the car felt like a speeder.
Oh my God!
You get behind the wheel.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
I guess.
I'm 9. I can't.
Speeder.
I'm fucking 9 years old. I can't help it.
I did like that. So, have you seen The Last Mandalorian yet?
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me. I need to watch it. I mean, where I cut off on, which was the last episode, it was amazing then, just the way they cut it off. So I'm looking forward to seeing the end of it, or the end of the season.
That is such a good show. And it's amazing to me that there isn't a single fucking laser sword in the entire goddamn thing. I know I've said that before, but I marvel over it. It's just, you don't need it. That makes me look back at what was it, Solo, when the hologram of Darth Maul is talking to Kira. And I've mentioned this before, and he just says, blah, 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 evil, you're my slave, blah, 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 evil, and see, kids, laser sword, now you can't bitch, it's in the movie.
Yeah. I remember that. Somebody brought up the point that I was looking at. They said Jon Favreau, should be given some kind of huge award because, number one, not only did he start the MCU pretty much.
Yeah. With Iron Man.
With Iron Man. And
the reason why
now he's got the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda as huge things that are really starting, to climb the charts, as they say.
I wonder if they fired the asshole that didn't put the plushies out in time for Christmas.
I know, right?
That was an oversight.
Yeah.
You don't give something big gizmo eyes and then not make plushies for Christmas,
Now, I was in Hot Topic the other day, and they do have shirts there. Which I was kind of surprised that they already had shirts out, because I know some of the stuff's not coming out till like February, some of the toys.
It takes a weekend to print a shirt.
Yeah, true. It wasn't anything spectacular, but I did order the Funko Pop, of course, of Baby Yoda, which is supposed to be here around February or so, whatever. But and we'll put him right up here with, I got Kylo Ren for my birthday the other day for my daughter.
I noticed that. That's fucking awesome.
So because she knows that was my favorite. As soon as I named my dog after Kylo after I saw the movie. Before I even saw the movie, actually, because I thought that he looked so good in the trailers. I was really impressed. So
it's funny because the Funko Pop version kind of looks like Dark Helmet with the oversized.
Oh God, I hate that movie. One of the few Mel Brooks movies that I just can't get into.
I remember us going on about that one.
Too much, and it's just too hokey. And
I know the humor doesn't really stand up. It's very dated.
Oh yeah, it is
very mid '80s humor.
And that's odd for Mel Brooks because Mel Brooks is Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, all those older ones still stand up.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, you can't play them necessarily all the time because there's still some racial stuff in them that bother people. But
you got to put a Disney discllaimer in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. Which I can't believe
they had different mindsets when they filmed this shit.
I just heard about that a week ago or whatever that they were doing that because I haven't watched any of that older stuff. But
I did, but I didn't notice any of it until it was drawn to my attention.
Yeah, that's exactly how it always happens. The other thing in Star Wars 2, I had no problem. I thought it was kind of cool with the lightsaber at the end. Everybody's bitching about the orange lightsaber or yellow or whatever it was, and I thought it was badass.
And you know what? I don't know if this is canon anymore, but actually, I know for a fact that gray Jedi are not canon. There's this thing going around in the Star Wars community about gray Jedi. There's the Jedi, and then there's the Sith. They walk lines on each side. The gray Jedi fall squarely in the middle. And according to old canon, it was the gray Jedi that carry the yellow lightsabers or the white.
Oh, okay.
The white colored lightsabers, like Ahsoka Tano in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
She eventually, when it comes to Rebels, she's got 2 white lightsabers.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So I didn't mind that. I know a lot of people were bitching about that.
Oh, I loved it.
The only other problem I had with it was the Knights of Ren. I would have liked that. They weren't what I expected them to be.
More of an explanation would have been nice.
Yes.
On who the fuck they actually were.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe a little bit of dialogue explaining it from them.
Yeah. And the thing is that I expected, were they not, like in Force Awakens in that scene where he's imagining everything, were they not supposed to be training as Jedi also?
They never specified. I don't know what the novels say. I know that the novelizations for all 3 of the sequel trilogy movies are considered canon, and everything that I have in them is considered canon, but I haven't read them, so I don't know. It might have explained more about them in the novelization for The Force Awakens, but if it did, I don't know. Yeah,
see, because I was expecting just some evil-looking dudes in black robes and lightsabers.
Right.
And, that's
a single saber among them.
Yeah, they were kind of just like old, like medieval guys, they had medieval weapons and, like the one guy had the big broadsword and all that shit. And for what happened for the little bit that they were on, it was kind of cool, but I just wanted them to be more menacing. Like, I really wanted to look at them and go, wow, these guys are fucking trained. They're the shit.
Well,
and
you could tell there was a connection there between all of them, though.
Yeah,
especially the coolest moment in the movie. Jim told me this the other day. I'm gonna agree with him on this. It was the coolest fucking moment in the movie when she does that thing with the lightsaber behind her back, and then they connect, and then he pulls it out, and then he just does that Han Solo.
yeah.
And starts fucking. It was just such a cool fucking moment.
Yeah. And did you read I put a which I thought was kind of funny. I think I put it up. I posted a meme on our page that I never thought about. Did you realize that nobody takes advantage of the fact that you can turn the lightsaber on and off? Did you read that?
Yes.
And the fact that when he's going, he can just turn it off and go right through his saber and then turn it back on again and whoo, right through his head.
They did kind of take advantage of that in The Last Jedi in that scene when she throws him the lightsaber and he just turns it on.
Yeah.
That was a moment where that.
Yeah. There was a lot of really cool lightsaber moments. My other thing was it just because he just never really got out of his anger? Why did Kylo's lightsaber never really adjust itself? Why did it never? It was always, that sharp edged, it had a really weird sound. It was jagged, and they said that was because he hadn't learned enough yet, or he was so angry.
Actually, yeah.
I'm wondering why that didn't change any in the like he should have learned more by then and should have, but maybe he's just so angry that I don't know. I don't know how lightsabers work.
It was just he constructed it before he knew how to construct a lightsaber.
Yeah, that could be too. Yeah.
And I've also heard a theory that the crystal itself that he used was unstable.
Okay, that could be.
Yeah, why the blade's all fucked up.
Yeah, which I think it looks cool. It added to it. I mean, it was something we'd never seen in Star Wars, so it was really awesome the way they did that.
I'd actually heard a rumor that was Vader's old saber.
Oh, really?
That he got the crystal from.
Oh,
Which
well,
might
that could be.
explain-
That might explain why it's kind of like fucked up or whatever. Yeah.
because he was the ultimate Star Wars fanboy, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Oh,
collected
yeah. He
all the
was
memorabilia,
big
had a
time.
whole fucking room devoted to it. Oh, that's where you are. I'll be right there. You know,
All the memorabilia.
right?
Yeah, but that,
All of it
and
in
I
glass
thought that
cases.
scene was amazing. I didn't have any problems with that scene either.
Right,
I like that whole, not really teleportation, but where, I mean, the thing where
Projection.
that was so cool the way that they did it. Like when he hit the package or the basket of beans or berries or whatever, and then they spilled out to where she was or whatever, and then when she hit Vader,
Right.
that was really cool the way they interpreted that and did that.
And I kind of like the explanation for Snoke too, that he was just a fucking pawn. That he was just there was vats of Snokes.
Yeah.
You know, just clone
I saw him.
vats
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, that was really cool. That was
Like,
a
oh,
cool
wow.
callback. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the other thing was too, I had no problem. And I know a lot of people did. I had no problem with her calling herself Skywalker because I felt as if
And you see,
she
you were
was
worried about that too. You
And
were
I-
worried it was going to come across as artificial.
Yeah, and
know?
the way I felt it when after she says it, you kind of realize, well, she's honoring him. She's
exactly.
carrying on that. She knows how truthful the
you know
Skywalker clan was, and wants to travel on with it.
When that little bit of information leaked, though, it was out of context.
Yes,
They
yes.
took that out of context to
Yeah.
make it seem like it was going to be this great big fucking slap in the face.
Yeah, because originally the story that I heard was that she just kills Palpatine, and then all of a sudden she says, "I'm a Skywalker," and that
Right.
wasn't it at all.
wasn't it
Yeah,
at
it wasn't
all.
done like that at all.
No, it was done with respect.
Yes, yes. And I had no problem with it, like I said, because it really felt like she was carrying the name on.
And whatever problems you have with this movie, if you have any problems with this movie, which there's no movie is perfect, the one thing you can say, it was done with respect.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It closed out the saga properly, I
Yep.
thought.
Yep.
And now we can move on to bigger and better Star Wars things, honestly.
Now, my thing is, I know that from what I've heard, none of them are going to do any of this anymore.
No, they're done.
Yeah, they're
Cast is
completely done.
Yeah.
So my question is, which is, it might be a whole field to get into,
Oh, it's,
but my question
I
is,
think I know where you're going.
franchises.
Yeah.
What happens when you're in a franchise this big and you try to go out and be something else?
You can do other genres of films. Look at Marvel. Look at what Marvel's
Yeah.
doing. They can take a lesson from Marvel here. Just, you know what? Set aside the entirety of the MCU with the exception of Captain America, the First Avenger, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Two vastly different movies set in the same universe with the same character.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The first one was a period piece set in World War II, and the second one was an espionage thriller
Yeah.
set in modern times.
But my problem with it is, unless you already have a career, it seems like your career goes nowhere if you invest yourself in a franchise. I can't see. I'm sorry, but I know Daisy Ridley has done. She did what was the Murder on the Orient Express, and she was good in that.
Okay.
But I can't see her doing any. Even Luke, even Mark Hamill.
See, now, that's
had
where
a
I'm gonna
huge-
disagree.
He has a huge following as far as voice acting. But if you look
He
at his
was
acting,
the
he's
Joker.
yeah.
You know?
But if you look at acting, I mean, especially until Batman came around, he didn't do anything.
Well, he did Corvette Summer.
Seriously.
Sorry. And you know what? No, he did one thing that I absolutely fucking love, and I'm so sad because my DVD of this doesn't work anymore. I'd lend it to you. Comic Book the movie.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I know it.
fucking
Yeah.
love
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I used to watch that once a year at least.
Yep. And I remember when it came out, how excited I was that Mark
even-
Hamill was doing something.
I even got a like from Hamill himself on Twitter.
Really?
By mentioning the fact that
Yeah.
I own that movie and watch it once a year.
It's a good movie. It really is a good movie.
I love that scene when Jeremy Bullock and Peter Mayhew are all sitting at the table in the cafeteria, and Mark Hamill comes over to sit there and like, get the fuck away.
I don't know.
So
The
else.
thing, like Chris Evans is another one.
Yeah.
He
Well,
can't really do anything besides Captain America now. Nobody likes him in any other movies. I'm sorry, but he's put other movies out and they're flops.
You're not
They're
wrong.
all flops.
You're not wrong. The movies themselves are flops, but you know the women like looking at them, so it's gonna,
Yeah, I mean, if you want to
He's gonna
stand
keep
on that
working.
your whole life, I guess. Plus the fact that he's ultimate ultra liberal, and he's really said a lot of things that have pissed a lot of people off.
If he wants to keep working, though, he does have an out, because in the comics they did the whole Captain America got old thing too.
Yeah, yeah,
And then they reversed it because nobody liked the new Captain America, so they just brought him.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So
And
they can. A good writer can fix that.
I just can't see. I can't see what's his name, the guy who played Finn.
John Boyega.
I can't see John Boyega. I know that he had a career before. He was in that really good movie, the British movie about the invaders from wherever.
I have no idea.
Oh God, it's really good. Attack the Block. It's so good. The monsters in it, the alien things in it are so cool looking. They're so different.
So, you know,
And that was before he did any Star Wars.
Oscar Isaacs, I can see going on.
Which one? Oh yeah,
I could see him.
Yeah,
going
probably.
On to better
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Adam Driver. Adam Driver is. Just,
Well, he already had a huge career before that.
He had a big career before that. Even though I had never fucking noticed him.
Yeah.
But this is just going to push it further, I think.
Yeah, it will.
He's got some versatility as an actor. He proved that with this trilogy.
Oh yeah, he's proved it in a lot of things that I've seen. He's got a movie right now that's supposed to be really good on Netflix called Marriage or something, but I don't want to watch it. It looks too depressing because it's all about our marriage ending.
Okay.
But he oh my God, he's hilarious. I still can't believe you haven't seen. You've got to see the Dead movie with him and Bill Murray that came out. Did you see it?
I fucking
okay. I
loved
wasn't
that.
sure. Yeah, see, he's good in that.
My wife fell asleep like 20 minutes
Oh
into
my
it,
God,
but
it was
I
so
loved
good.
every second of it. That was so hilarious.
Did you not love the keychain joke?
Dry fucking humor.
Did you not love the keychain joke where he handed her the keys to his car and it had a little Star Wars ship on it?
I love that.
It was fucking awesome.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah, and
Their tongues were planted firmly in their cheeks when they filmed that fucking.
He's like the Harrison Ford of this version. He's just like a really good actor, so he's going to get acting anywhere.
And is it just me, or did Han Solo become arguably the most beloved character of the entire saga?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that happened until the sequel trilogy.
I think him and Leia. I almost wish there was more of Leia in the other films now. I kind of liked. I would have liked to have seen an actual training session. You know, back in the day, that would have been really cool to see something like that.
She was training.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that was a big bitch that fans had about The Last Jedi when she did the fucking Mary Poppins thing.
And you notice Rey did something similar to it too when she's hopping out of the ship. That was kind of like
she wasn't flying.
Okay.
She was just
holding
herself.
Yeah.
There's your proof. Weird. She trained as a fucking bitch. She just had to stop.
Yeah, and that makes more sense. And I mean, there was a lot of stuff in this movie that cleared a lot of stuff up, and I think that's what really made me like it. And I just don't. Like I said, I just don't understand these people who hate it. I don't get it. You're not a Star Wars fan. You're not.
I knew that they would, though. I knew that they would explain the shit. And I even said so. I even said that they're going to explain why Rey can do all this shit.
Yeah.
And you said you won't be pissed if she kills Palpatine. I'm like, fuck no.
No.
As long as they write it well, and they did.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was kind of a... I mean, she had the backing of just about everybody, too. I mean, set aside the... I mean, I couldn't get all the voices. I knew some of the voices when they're cheering for her or whatever, telling her. I didn't think that was much needed. I thought the Luke thing was just perfect enough. And I thought with her and Kylo, the way they came together was perfect enough. And that would have been great just to end it that way. But I understand what they were doing. They wanted all those, people in there saying, you can do it. I get that.
And they wanted people like that fucking dude that I'm always talking about that has 3 sensationalized headlines every day on his YouTube channel with Star Wars. They wanted people like him to catch the leaked info that, Hayden Christensen was caught on set today. That must mean there's Anakin confirmed.
Which guy are you talking about?
I don't know if I want to say his name.
I just wonder if it's the same guy that I'm thinking.
I doubt it.
Okay. You got to see this. This guy has not liked anything since The Force Awakens, and it's ridiculous.
Not like Star Wars. He had a period of time there where every single video, no matter what it was about, Star Wars related, he had to bash The Last Jedi every time. And it's like, we get it. You don't fucking like it. You don't have to say it 3 times a day.
Yeah. And that's what this guy does. He's constant. He's always wearing a Star Wars cap, though. And like I said, his room's full of Star Wars stuff. But sometimes I'm at the point now where I just go to watch him just because it's funny. I'm just like, are you
Lucas's
stupid?
Paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
Your Lucasfilm's paycheck. That's what you.
I don't.
They don't care. Bash it if you want. You got all their shit.
I think they already had their minds made up. I was one of those people that was willing to move on from Last Jedi, even though I didn't like it. I know you liked it. I know other people did like it, but I was willing to move on from it. And these people just stayed with it. It's like that vitriol. It's like, oh, I don't like it. It's changing. It's different.
Well, I have to wonder how many people actually hate it. compared to the people who just are ashamed to admit that they don't hate it because they've always hated it.
Yeah.
It's for show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is.
Like the question I've always had: how many people out there pretend to like football just because everybody they know does? You know.
Yep.
And that goes into some deep territory too. Like, what if everybody's pretending to like football and nobody really fucking does? An entire group of assholes drinking beer and watching football on Sunday.
Some people actually do like it. I mean, it's not for me.
Well, no,
but...
I mean there are football fans. I mean, that the stadiums being filled all the time proves that. But
yeah.
I just have to wonder how many women out there just post football crap on Facebook all the time because the man that they're with loves football.
Yeah,
you know.
It was funny because I called my mom last night and she goes, I figured you'd be watching the big game. And I went, what big game?
Do you know me?
And she's like, OSU. And I'm like, no. She was kind of joking about it because she knows I don't like that. But I'm like, I don't even know what's going on in sports. I have no clue. And I never will probably. It's just not an area I'm interested in at all.
I cared for a minute. My cousin is huge into sports. He's the kind of guy, even if there's no actual sports on TV, he will find something competitive to engage in. I mean, he's loving cornhole right now just for that. So where the hell did that even come from?
Cornhole's great, man. If you get a couple beers in you, cornhole's the shit.
Well, I don't drink beer, so.
Liquor, whatever, Fred.
I was just wondering if it was specifically the beer that.
No. It can be any kind of.
I've been trying to figure this out forever. It was nothing. It didn't exist in my universe.
And then it just all of a sudden came
Papa
out.
John's until I was working there, and then it just popped up, and everybody fucking loved it. It was like Miley Cyrus. It's like one day she's not there, the next day there's Hannah Montana cardboard stand-ups every 15 feet in Walmart, literally over fucking night.
I can actually remember going to Indian Lake at one point, and is when I was with my ex-wife, and we would go to Indian Lake every once in a while for the kids. And I can remember we'd drive by this house every day, and this was years ago, and it said cornhole for sale. And I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. I had no clue. So yeah, it did just kind of appear out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden everybody's playing it. It was kind of weird. It's fun, but
it was always there.
Always there, yeah. Kind of like the Mandela effect, I guess. Yeah,
I was actually wondering for a while. There's certain things where that does happen, where I'm like, did I just fucking hop realities? Did I just go from a reality where that never existed to one where it's always been there?
Exactly. Right. You know? Yeah, I don't understand.
And
I like it. It's fun, but
in my life actually.
There's a lot of stuff that and I mean, we're going to go into this. Hopefully we're going to do a Mandela effect episode.
We're going to watch the movie, and
go ahead.
I'm just I'm still worried that they're gonna dramatize this to the point where it's just unbelievable as a real phenomenon, and it really is.
Just from the trailers I've seen, which I want to watch it because of the trailers, but just from the trailers, it looks like it's kind of something more sci-fi-ish than it is more. So I'm not real sure what the movie's gonna be like. But like I said, I can get it on Vudu, and then we can both watch it and talk about it next week, and talk about the Mandela effect.
To me, it looks like almost a sci-fi horror movie.
Yeah, exactly.
When in reality, I think the phenomenon itself is a little bit more benign. I don't think it's I don't think it's quite as sinister as people like to think it is.
No, I don't think so either, but
this movie's going to make all the dumbasses out there think that it's sinister and an evil thing that's happening.
I don't know. I think a lot of people, my daughter is actually the one who told me about it like 3 years ago or whatever, when she was really into it. And then I started discovering the stuff and looking at it. I think it's,
and once you go down that rabbit hole, it's hard to pull yourself out of it, because you start noticing things in your everyday fucking life that are just not the way that they used to be.
Yeah, it's like, wow. But I don't know. I just think maybe sometimes it's probably just our memories.
It could be.
I mean, because they say that things that you remember, that you really think you really remember, are probably 100 times different than what actually happened.
That's because your memories, you're not remembering the actual incident. You're remembering your memories.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You're remembering the way you felt, the way you,
It distorts over time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get that, but there's photographic evidence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the Mandela effect. Yeah. Oh, there's all kinds of shit. Yeah.
There's lots of evidence.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's time travelers.
I think it's different universes.
I think that too, and I think time travel plays into that. Actually, I think every time you go back, you create a new universe. I think. There's about 1,000,001 theories for this. My favorite one is reincarnation. People like to think that reincarnation is just dying and being born again.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I think we live the same life over and over until we get it right. Until we die on our fucking deathbed surrounded by loved ones, we live the same life over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Okay.
And every time we do that, we notice differences in it and
Yeah.
our memories from the previous lives that we've lived as this person invade. And sometimes it's not the same
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
it was the last time we went through it.
So your opinion is that
And then-
it's just we are now living the same life over and over, and then there's
Until we
different.
get it right, and then we move on to a different life until we've lived every life
Okay.
that has ever been.
Okay.
Then we get to be God.
Okay. We get to be God.
Yes.
Okay.
We get to be God after
Now I
we've
don't-
perfected every life that is and ever was and ever will be.
But what do you mean in are you saying like we die and then we go on to another life and try to perfect it? Or are you saying this entire time we're just in different universes trying to perfect
Each life,
each life, each time, each day?
variation of the same life is a different universe.
Okay.
And each new life we take on is a different universe. We're delving into some non-pop culture territory here. This is subject matter.
I think the Mandela effect is pretty much pop culture. I mean, it really does have a lot to, I mean,
Well, what I'm talking to has gone beyond the man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
What I'm talking to has gone into an existential area where, only the most enlightened will even probably grasp what I'm trying to fucking say here, because even I don't fully understand it.
yeah, I don't either. I mean, you can talk about it all day long, but I mean, still, it's really deep, and a lot of that kind of stuff.
And in the end, it's just like every fucking thing. We won't know until we're dead, and those people aren't talking.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And that's one of the things that really interested me was speaking about death, and this is kind of pop culture, is Houdini. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Houdini gave a secret thing to his wife, that if he came back, because he went on a quest. He was on a worldwide quest to debunk all of these people, because he got screwed one time when he was younger, went to a thing to talk to his mother, a seance, and he found out that they were tricking him. So he was mad. He made it his life work to go every time he went to a different city to do a trick, to do like his big tricks that he was going to do in that city. The rest of the time he was there, he would go around to seance places and he would debunk them. And so he was...
That's a noble effort, actually.
So he gave his wife specific words or specific something he's never said, of course. Well, he did never say that if he came back or if he was able to communicate, she would know.
Okay.
And I always thought that was really neat. I always thought that was kind of cool. Maybe I should give something to somebody I know, in case I ever pass away.
Personally, I think I do believe that psychic abilities exist because I've experienced a bit of it myself. Mm-hmm. But if somebody's making money off of you claiming to be a psychic, they're just fucking with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anytime somebody's making money off of you, it's not real.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Evangelicals, seance people, tarot card readers. I don't possess any of that ability, and I don't know how other people do. I do know that there's obviously something like they say the Force. There's obviously something tingling in people that they can see something, because some of the shit does come true. Some of the shit does, happen.
But anytime somebody, there's signs you can look for, and I can go into that at some other time. But again, this is subject matter for the podcast that I had in mind for
for spiritual and all that stuff. Yeah,
energetic stuff, and yes. And synchronicity, which has been happening a lot in my life lately. Lots of 1111s, 222, 333, yeah, just popping up every fucking where. The first thing I took a picture of with my phone, first thing I saw when I woke up today was my alarm clock said 1111.
Really?
And I never adjusted it for daylight savings. So it's still an hour behind. And then I saw 1111 again an hour later.
Oh, wow.
And it's nothing more complex than just picking your phone up and looking at it.
Yeah.
That didn't happen now.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens like that you're not quite sure. Or
noticing your phone is at 44% at 444,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's happened before too.
See, you're really reading into it now, though.
Well, it pops up everywhere. It's what it is. It's the universe trying to communicate with you, trying to tell you you're on the right path.
You think that's it?
I think that's it. I think that's all there is to it. Well, it probably goes a lot deeper. I think that no matter what explanation people come up with for the unexplainable phenomenon that happens in our universe or universes, however you want to look at it, no matter what explanation is thought up, it is nowhere near close because the way I look at it, we are nothing more than tadpoles trying to understand what a skyscraper is. if existence, I got a compliment on this next metaphor.
Okay.
If existence were a layer cake,
Yeah.
human beings are the graham cracker crust trying to figure out what the frosting layer's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I agree with that. Yeah.
and there's no way we can fucking know because there's so much separation between us.
See, and this is, and I would hope, I mean, we've got a couple of comments here and there from people. So really, I mean, we're just doing this. We love doing this. But if you've got stuff that you want us to talk about, if you've got ideas and stuff, because I am really, as Fred is, I am really deep into, we want to make it pop culture-esque, like the Mandela effect.
Yes.
But there's other things out there that have happened that are weird that, you know, pertain to pop culture. So we
Like
do
the dude
want to get
wearing-
into stuff
the
like
dude
that.
in the old photo from the 20s. Wearing the flannel shirt with the t-shirt and underneath and the fucking sunglasses, the Ray-Bans.
Yep. And the guy with there was a guy at what was it, a boxing match or something from back in the 30s or something, and it looks like he's holding a smartphone up,
Yes.
and recording it. And then of course there's the woman in the Charlie Chaplin film who walks by with
With a cell phone, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we definitely. So if you've got any suggestions or anything, anybody, put them out there, and we'll delve into them
Dig
because
deep. The way I look at it, you know what? X-Files was fucking pop culture. So
Yeah.
we can play X-Files. We can play Mulder and Scully on here. I get to be Mulder.
that's fine. I'll be Scully. Okay.
I think you'd look okay with red hair anyway. So. Get you a wig.
Yeah, thanks. But anyway, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because we'll get on to some of that stuff, I definitely want to do at least hour shows about some of that weird stuff. But
Right.
I was looking at some stuff last night, some horror films last night that are coming out. I'm trying to remember some of them. Do we have anything in 2020 that we're looking forward to, since this is going to go out on New Year's Eve?
Well, fall 2020, The Mandalorian season 2 is going to come out.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't get off that. That was just fucking amazing.
Here's my question.
I'm glad it's going to be quicker than most sequel series, or I'm sorry, second seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
On fucking on streaming services.
What was weird was when I went and saw Star Wars, I saw all these previews, and a lot of the previews are like big time movies, and they're coming out in like January, February. What's the deal with that? It used to be May is when they started.
Didn't it? And Star Wars dictated that back then too.
Yeah.
Star Wars was the granddaddy, the great granddaddy of all blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
And it premiered in May 25th, I believe it was, wasn't it? Yeah. It premiered on May 25th in 1977.
And Jaws too. Jaws was another big one that started
was a
that
big
because it was right May or
thing as
June or
well.
something like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was it was the summer blockbusters.
Yeah.
That's what now everybody. I think they're trying to. I'm going to get into conspiracy territory here. It's the Illuminati. They're trying to destroy the good feeling of Christmas by making everybody leave their houses in December. And
Yeah, I was just surprised at some of the stuff I saw that was coming out like January, February. Like, for instance, and I know you're probably not interested in it because I'm not really that interested in it, Bad Boys. Does this have any legs to it at all?
Mention that. Martin Lawrence seems puffy, and
He does. He does seem
they
puffy.
seem too old to be doing this.
Yeah, I haven't even really heard that much about it.
Wait like 30 years and make another one too, and have that set in a fucking geriatric
long,
home.
right? It's like so long ago. When was the last one made? 90s or was it 2000s?
They're capitalized. I think it was I don't know.
I'm thinking it was 90s.
I think they made the first two pretty much back to back within a couple
Yeah.
of years each other. If I'm remembering right.
And I saw that, and I
So
saw
it's
that it
been
was
a while. Yeah.
I saw that it was coming out in January, and I'm like, January? This seems like a tentpole film. Like, you know, it should be May or June.
Summer blockbuster, you know.
But I mean, maybe they don't have as much. See, I had known this was coming out for a while only because a friend of mine that I went to school with is good friends with Will Smith. He actually does all of his. He owns a company, Pierce Austin. Shout it out there. We used to be best friends in school, and he's like he owns a makeup trailer and a hair trailer. He owns tons of them, and he does all. He did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Nice.
He does all those, but he's really good friends with Will Smith. So I've been seeing all this Bad Boy stuff on his Instagram.
I was going to say I follow Will Smith on Instagram
Yeah,
too.
so I knew about it. But I'm just like, it doesn't seem like they're really putting anything into it, like marketing wise or.
It's Expendables. It's Rambo.
Yeah.
It's Creed.
Yeah.
It's them trying to. It's fucking Ghostbusters 2020.
Yeah,
As much as I'm looking forward to that one, and that is one that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
because that just looks fucking exactly like what I wanted.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really
if
good.
they'd made it before Harold Ramis died, then it would have been even better.
It would have been perfect, but I mean, yeah,
But they
shit
couldn't get
happens.
everybody on board. Bill Murray's a flake when it comes to that shit. He wouldn't sign off on anything until it was too fucking late.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, they had some rough patches too. Harold Ramis and Bill Murray.
Really?
When they were
I think
filming-
Bill Murray has rough patches with just about everybody.
That kind of doesn't.
He's very
surprise
funny.
me.
He's a unique guy. He's extremely
Well, they even
different.
said in that Movies That Made Us episode about the Ghostbusters, they even said that they had no idea if he was even going to show up for the filming until the day that they started filming, and he was just there, and it's like, okay.
Well, remember how much problems he had with Charlie's Angels too?
Yeah.
When he didn't show up to set half the time for that and stuff. And I don't think it's him being a dick. I think Bill Murray just kind of just does his own thing.
He just floats through the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
And affects people's lives.
I mean, because you've seen all
he
the
went
memes with
across
him.
the country just crashing fucking frat
Yeah,
parties for a while.
right.
You know, which wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, I know, right?
You're
He
having
was
a
having
fucking New
dinners
Year's
with
Eve
people
party or
and stuff, and there was one I remember seeing it recently. I think it was like some sort of birthday party or something where he just showed up at somebody's house and they were doing karaoke and shit.
You know?
I mean, so I think that's him. I think he just likes to be himself and be wherever he wants to be. And if he doesn't want to fucking make a movie right now, he didn't want to make a movie.
And it rubs people the wrong way, too. And it rubbed Harold Ramis the wrong way quite a bit, to the point where they just weren't even on speaking terms when they were filming Groundhog Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he would show up to the set, he would do his shit, and you can even see it in some takes.
Yeah.
He's almost looking past the camera.
Yeah.
With his middle finger up at Harold Ramis.
I forgot Harold Ramis even directed that.
Although his daughter, Harold Ramis' daughter, did say that when he was in the final days of his life, Bill did show up at the house and they reconciled. Right before he died.
Good.
I was happy to hear that.
That's awesome.
I was very happy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think he really had it. Like I said, I just think he's just from what I've read about him and what I've known about him. He's very Tom Hanks is kind of like that too. He's a big celebrity,
really
but Tom
is.
Hanks really will just
floats.
kind of do what he wants. And
that was one thing I was gonna actually mention that actually. It's funny you bring that up because I remembered that picture that floated around the internet where that guy was just passed
drunk
out at the bar
and Tom was there.
Hanks used his phone to get a selfie of the two of them.
Yep, and there was another one too where he was at a party too, just hanging out with a bunch of people, and
awesome.
It's cool that you can be that way and still be so big and still have so much going for you, that you can just jump in and I think that's what a lot of these other people are missing. Some of the people that bitch and moan, like Alyssa Milano, I don't want to get SJW here, but Alyssa Milano, people like that, it's like, come here, come to the Midwest, find out how real people live. Get out of your Hollywood bubble and come here and figure out how real people live. Maybe you change your mind.
Isn't there?
There's a huge disconnect, and I think it's getting worse. I really do. It's getting
two separate worlds here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to be religious. I don't, but I'm telling you what, because I'm not a religious person, really. Spiritual, yes, but Hollywood to me, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, man, it's starting to look like Sodom and Gomorrah. It really is. And I'm a person that doesn't mind anything. I mean, we'll cuss on here. I tell dirty jokes. I'm not offended by anything, but when I see some of the shit that's happening in Hollywood, it's like this place is going to fall into like Bill Hicks said, it's just finally just going to fall into the fucking ocean. I mean, there's going to be nothing left of California.
I like them all as actors.
I do too. I really do.
I don't want to see that disappear.
No, I don't either. But I mean,
is amazing.
It just seems like there's so much stuff going on in that realm that they just can't contain it.
They feel there's a level of I don't, what's the word I'm looking for?
A level
they feel
of
like it's their
narcissism.
duty. They feel like it's their duty to use their voice, since their voice is more easily heard than most, to spread their opinions.
Yeah.
The problem is people don't see opinions for opinions anymore.
Yeah.
People look at what's said on the internet and think that that's gospel.
Yep.
Yep,
they do.
Because this person said it, it must be true, and I have to believe that because I like this person.
Yep.
Or if I want to work, actually, it's more likely is if I want to work in this industry, then I have to believe what this.
That's what the whole problem is. Yep.
It is.
Yeah, and there's certain people that just won't abide by that, and we talked about this before about the fact
Clint
that
Eastwood thing being like an exception. Yes,
it's like when they don't talk about it, then they're usually on that right side of the world.
Except
and the ones
Clint Eastwood, who won't
Yeah.
He's not afraid to talk about shit.
Well, I mean, he's old now. He doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
He's in that stage
He's
where
old. He's already got his money.
I still love him. I still think he's one of the best actors of all time. But I mean, I grew up with him. I grew up with him like, we were best buddies. No, my mom was a huge Clint Eastwood fan. Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood, anything they did, I watched because my mom was a huge fan.
Actually, oddly enough, my favorite thing that Burt Reynolds ever did was fucking Archer.
Oh, I forgot he was on that. That's right.
As Burt Reynolds, actually. So.
He was so good in Boogie Nights, though, and in some of his early movies. I still like Smokey and the Bandit. I don't give a shit how cheesy it is. It was an 80s film. It was a Rev 'em Up. It's still a great movie. It's still funny. He's funny in it, and it's still got legs, I think.
I don't disagree.
And Hooper is another one of my favorites by him, where he plays the stuntman.
Right.
But yeah, anyhow, I was just going to say about as far as talking, I don't even know what the fuck I was going to say. I was getting on the subject.
Happen.
We're having a little bit of silence here. Sorry. I was going to get on the track of.
I don't think there's been more than about 5 total minutes of dead air the entire time we've been recording this thing, and we're on episode 30.
Yeah, no, we always find stuff to talk about.
That's one thing that was given to me as praise when we were being listened to in the very beginning, is that so many podcasts are filled with dead air.
Yeah.
I think that comes from your radio background.
It does, because I just know that you have to keep it going and keep, yeah. And
I don't have the radio background, but I am aware of that aspect of it.
But you can talk, and that's,
exactly.
I mean, it also matters if you get somebody good enough, and I mean, we've obviously chosen, each other. I mean, we
can bounce.
Yeah, we can bounce, so I mean, it's fine. But yeah, it is a tough thing, guys. I mean, doing this, but we have fun at it. We like it.
You get way more comfortable with it as it goes on. I don't even think about the camera anymore.
Dude, I was nervous as shit the first day we did this.
Oh God, yes.
I was nervous as shit, and now it's like, yeah, exactly.
Now we could talk. We've already hit the hour mark.
Yeah,
we didn't even get to everything we wanted to get to.
No, we didn't.
So I am going to say one thing I want to do next week. I'm going to leave this here.
Yeah, I do want. I want to try this out.
Yeah, learn to play it with your kids or something. I'm going to leave this here as a reminder. I want to run through how to play this game next week. I think once a month I'm going to showcase one of my simpler games that I have at home, and I've got a ton of tabletop games at home, and it's going to have to get into a realm where they're not so simple anymore, because I've got, like I was saying with Arkham Horror,
yeah.
I will never play that game again. I will never play with the easiest boss that's in the game. We played a game against that particular ancient one, and it started at 9 p.m. and ended at dawn. And by the end of this game, we are all standing over the table like this, saying, how the fuck do we end this? We've got 2 more gates to close. How do we fucking end this?
Oh, see, and I like tabletop games, and I've never gotten into.
You'll dig
not that I've never gotten into it. I just never have had the chance to get into some of these other games that you get into. I mean, tabletop games for me are, like you said, like trivia. Right. I mean, I play like we have the 80s Trivial Pursuit here, and I have a couple of rock ones, but. Yeah, but it always ends up with basically people asking me questions the whole time. So
there's a game called Castle Panic, and the reason I bring this up, it's basically there's a cardboard castle in the middle of the fucking thing with different sections that you put up around it to build the castle, and enemies come in from all sides, and the rules dictate how that happens. I'm not going to get into that, but as they attack the castle bits and pieces that you've put up disappear, and you have to keep the castle standing. Yeah. The reason I bring this up is my favorite fucking version of that game, there's one called Star Trek Panic.
Oh, okay.
And it's got a little cardboard Enterprise in the middle of it.
Really?
And you each get a character from the fucking show, and each character has different abilities, and different things like happen to the ship until the ship is completely destroyed. It's so fucking fun. It's so fucking fun.
They need to make a Back to the Future game like that.
That would be awesome.
That would be really awesome.
See,
those are the kind of stuff that I could get into, is those tabletop games where stuff.
I know you didn't dig Firefly, but I think you would like the Firefly game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's set up in the Firefly universe on the board. And actually, this is the reason why I got black felt for my table for a while, because it just looked so cool. Fucking space board game. And there's an objective that you have to complete. You have to go to different planets, pick up equipment, pick up crew, and take on jobs and fly around the universe completing these jobs. Yeah. It is so easy to just lose yourself and flying around the universe doing jobs that you forget what the main objective of the game is, and 5 hours has gone by.
Yeah. See, that's the way I am with I mean, not to put it on something else, but that's the way I am with the video games. I get like Far Cry. I got so involved in doing all the other mini things that I didn't even concentrate on the full. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Or Fallen Order.
Yeah. Oh god,
that fucking game. That game is hard as fuck. But you know what? One thing in its favor that I have to give it promotes a Jedi mindset.
Yeah.
To its credit, it promotes that Jedi mindset.
How far are you in it now?
I just got access to all the lightsaber colors.
Okay.
That was it. I just finished Ilum.
Okay. See, I haven't started back up again only because my daughter uses the TV downstairs all the time, and that's where we play it. So,
but yeah, if you approach any of the fights in this game with anything but patience, you're gonna have a bad time.
All right. Yeah, we're going to get back on it. I did get Mortal Kombat, and I was kind of pissed off to think that the Joker doesn't come out till like January or something.
Like 23rd or something.
I was like all excited. 28th. I was like, I want the Joker.
You got Terminator.
Yeah, I've been using Terminator, and he's pretty cool. But yeah, we were playing through we were having a lot of fun playing through the actual storyline on that one, and it's pretty intense.
I love that they started doing that.
But it's pretty cool.
And NetherRealm Studios jumps back and forth between the Mortal Kombat games and the Injustice games, and both of those franchises have the most amazing story.
Yes, they're excellent, both of them.
And to think all that started with that crappy ass Mortal Kombat versus DC game. The concept of this started with that.
Yeah, Injustice is amazing. I mean, both of them were amazing, and I
really want to get the DLC for Injustice 2 because I need to play as the Ninja Turtles.
Do I have it? I think I do have it. And I did play as the Ninja Turtle, and it's pretty cool. There's another one too on there that I can't remember that was really cool that was added. Hellboy, Hellboy's awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff on there.
Right.
And Mortal Kombat, as far as that's concerned, I was just disappointed Joker wasn't on there yet.
My big thing though, why add Joker in the first goddamn place? There are so many Mortal Kombat characters,
correct,
that are not in the game that they could add. Why pick and choose from other franchises? Same token with Injustice. Why put Scorpion in every fucking game? I mean, it's a stretch of the imagination already with these people who can fly and punch buildings, but when you start throwing the Mortal Kombat characters in there too, you're just stretching the imagination even further.
And I'd like to see more characters in Mortal Kombat. Like, I mean, you could have done away with the Joker and put like Ash in there. Ash has never been in one, has he?
No, but I think he's going to be. Bruce Campbell did come out and say that he has recorded no official dialogue for it, but I don't think that was actually Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the Terminator either.
No, I don't think so either.
And I have seen leaks that say Ash J. Williams is going to be a character in there.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of other. Michael Myers has never been in there.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of ones you could put in there. I mean, you could even go to now. Alien's already been in there.
Yes, he has.
And I'm trying to think. Predator's been in there. And
see, my only complaint about the whole side characters coming in with the horror icons like that, Freddy and Jason were separated by a game.
Yeah.
Freddy was in 10, Jason was in 11.
Yeah, that sucks.
Maybe it was the other way around.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
But yeah, you can't do a Freddy versus Jason match.
That sucks. Right? That sucks big time.
It's like they have the rights. Just bring them back for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you should. I mean, hell, let's have a Chucky. I want to see a little Chucky in there kicking some ass on Mortal Kombat. Right. That would be incredible.
You could have two skins for him. You could have the Mark Hamill version in there.
Exactly.
He was actually creepy, right?
Well, the thing about it was I kept telling my daughter, because I watched it with my daughter, and I was like, "Here's the thing." There's no way in hell that anybody's gonna buy that doll. The doll looked creepy from the beginning.
There's no fucking way.
I mean, at least with the original Chucky, he looked cute a little bit. But Mark Hamill's version, which I loved his version, but it was
back
like
then though when that first Child's Play movie came out, that was when those fucking good guys, or
not My Buddy
dolls.
Yep.
And I remember those creepy ass commercials.
Yep, My Buddy.
I didn't have one. I didn't want one. Even as a kid, I didn't want one of them. I thought because I had seen the fucking trailer for Child's Play, I'm like, I don't want this fucking thing coming to life and murdering me in my sleep.
Oh God, yeah, My Buddy.
My Buddy, that was.
But anyway, I think we're going to wrap things up. we've gone our allotted time in no time. So, and Fred's got things to do, and I got things to do, and we will see you next week, and hopefully we'll have a Mandela episode.
And hopefully, we can run through this.
Yes, I do want to run through that
for you to learn how to play. I'll just leave it right up here.
Alrighty. So we got that, and hopefully we'll do a Mandela effect either. And like I said, please leave some comments if you guys want us to get into weird stuff.
When it comes to the Mandela effect, though, I cringe whenever Star Wars is brought up.
Why? What's part of Star Wars is brought up, or what?
The whole Luke, I am your father thing.
Oh, yeah.
I
think that's just misheard.
That's a misheard thing.
Yeah.
But they offer so much stupid evidence for it that it just, whenever I'm watching a video about the Mandela effect and it starts to mention either that or the Berenstain fucking Bears, I will turn it off because it's like, I've seen this video 30 times.
Yeah. The Berenstain Bears is the one that everybody talks about, but there's so many other integral ones that are weird.
There are so many different shit.
Yeah.
Or different ones. It's just, we don't live in the universe you think we live in. Whatever you think you know, forget it. Or, as Yoda said, you must unlearn what you have learned.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. We hope you have a good New Year's, and 2020 is here, and we welcome it. And I think that does it for today. Thank you for listening and watching the Culture of Pop.
Don't drink and drive, and have fun on New Year's.
Shut up and sit down.